How to have a successful career in YouTube, you ask? Oh, easy. First, you find a group of gullible people, then you feed them some videos supporting whatever their belief is, and have a clickbait thumbnail. That's all. Then watch the views roll in. Let's debunk one of these today. We would be looking at a video titled, Richard Dawkins believes there is nothing really wrong with rape. Shocking! So let's jump into it.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another live. Today I have a very interesting topic I want to discuss with you guys of Mr. Richard Dawkins. He was in a discussion with Justin Brierley. I think it's not new. I think it was a couple of years ago. But nevertheless, this particular clip, it's very telling of, the way atheism puts you in a position where you can't account for morality. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the clip. And to be honest, the clip speaks for itself. This is going to be very short. I'm just going to play the clip, let you guys hear it, and then just briefly discuss the issues here in regards to morality and atheism, something we've expounded upon several times before. We've gone into a lot of detail. But when it comes from the horse's mouth, when it comes from one of the leaders of new atheism, it's shocking. It's shocking, and it should be a point of reflection for atheists to really reconsider the atheism.
Hold on, Imran. Are you saying that the behavior or viewpoint of one individual who belongs in the same group you do would make you reflect on your personal viewpoint? Are you sure that is a path you want to go down? Now, this is my first thought without seeing the clip you're going to show us. I might agree with what Dawkins has to say, or I might disagree. How's that relevant to what I think about your Sky Daddy? But I'm a good sport, so I'll play along. How about this? For every evil atheist or agnostic you find, I'll find you 10 evil Muslim. That is a 10 to 1 odd I'm giving you. I'll then reconsider the existence of Zeus, and you would have to do the same. That's your logic, right?
When you say that, you're actually implying that the only reason we don't go around raping and pillaging and stealing is that we're frightened of God. I mean, what kind of a contemptible reason for being good is that?
So just to point out, guys, one thing you see Dawkins doing here is very quickly straw manning Justin's position. That he's sort of painting this caricature where it's like, oh, you're saying that people will just go do X, Y, and Z if you didn't believe in God. Do you acknowledge that there is good and bad, right and wrong, in a true sense, that these things are true? So, for example, rape is bad and it's objectively bad. And would you acknowledge this? Even if people were to turn around and say, tomorrow there was a consensus that it wasn't, for example, is there some truth to this, or is it just something that's arbitrary? And here Dawkins, you gotta rate him. You gotta give him that. You gotta give him the respect that he's trying to be as consistent as he can, from a atheist and evolutionary perspective, right? But he's landing himself in a huge hole and exposing a huge hole of atheism. In one particular regard, when it comes to morality, that atheism cannot account for objective moral values and duties. So let's carry on listening to him.
Yes, but again, some morality is subjective. Let me introduce you to my favorite trolley problem. In a nutshell, a trolley is hurling down a track, and there are some people that are about to get run over. You have access to this lever, and by pulling it, that trolley would get diverted into a different track where it would kill one person. So the moral dilemma is, do you pull the lever? Another variation amps it up even more by making that single person related to you, maybe a lover, parent, or a child. Some argue that not doing anything is the moral thing to do. Me? I'll pull that lever in a heartbeat. Well, not maybe for some people. Suppose it's a large enough number, like 1 million. Hell yes, I would sacrifice one to save 1 million. Things change over time. I would like to ask you 3 questions on how you feel about the following. 1. Is it morally right for a man to have 4 wives? And I'm not talking about if he has consent or not. If you answered yes, then a follow-up. Is it okay for a woman to have 4 husbands? 2. When parents passes away, Muslim law dictates a very specific ratio for the inheritance to be distributed between the children based on their gender. Is that morally correct? Final question. Not really moral based, but what would you say is the minimum age should be for someone to get married and forced into, because that's what one does, to consummate their marriage? You know where I'm going with this, right? At one point, we burned brides. We kept fellow humans as slaves. Hell, we didn't even let those females vote and buried gay people. If everyone thought those things were morally detestable, we wouldn't be talking about it today, would we? As obviously you fail to understand his point, allow me to elaborate. I don't go around looting people. Why not? Well, because I think it's wrong. Not because I'm worried that the society would punish me, not because some sky daddy would put me in hell or send me back as a maggot. No, it's simply because I think it's wrong. Then again, I understand some human psychology. Now, I think I'm an honest guy. If I'm walking down the street and I find a wallet with an ID and £1,000, I'm immediately going to call the number to return it. If it's £10,000, yeah. £100,000, well, yes. How about if it was £1 million? Truthfully, that hasn't happened yet. What would I do in that scenario? Well, I only hope I would do the right thing, but I wouldn't know until I'm faced with it. It's got nothing to do with Sky Daddy. So yes, morality is subjective. There is no absolute morality. I just gave you a dilemma where by actively killing one person, you can save many. Even something like a murder that should be an absolute wrong can be correct at times. If you had the chance to go back in time and kill Hitler, would you do it, knowing that it would save countless lives? Do I need to say any more?
1 equals 2. What we're saying, and I think we're probably agreeing, is that there are certain universal moral principles which everybody has, regardless of their religion and whether they have a religion at all. Things like, actually, there's even been research on this, giving people rather standard moral questions, moral dilemmas, hypothetical ones, and asking which they think is the more moral course. And there's a wide measure of agreement among.
He's really flustered here, right? Psychologically, if you pick up on it, he's really flustered. He's trying to buy some time. He's trying to gather his thoughts, and therefore he's starting to cite some research on certain aspects of morality and how people react, etc., which isn't really addressing that fundamental issue that's being raised here.
Great, another armchair psychologist. Yes, I am aware of the irony, as I did say earlier that I understand human psychology. Well, first to clarify that I'm not talking about clinical psychologists here. That being said, the best psychologists I have seen are psychics and palm readers. In those business, you need to be able to read people from their body language and then use warm and cold reading to gain trust. After them, there are mentalists. They're down the list because, well, we don't get beaten up if we are wrong. Yes, I'm one of them. What you did there is what most ignorant NLP practitioners do. That is to come to a conclusion with very small data sample. For example, most people would touch their face before making up a lie. Now, someone touching their face once doesn't automatically mean they are lying. They might just be itchy. Dawkins might just be thinking, what kind of stupid question is this?
But if we had evolved into a society where rape was considered fine, would that mean that rape is fine?
I don't want to answer that question.
He doesn't want to answer that question. Guys, he doesn't want to answer that question. And that's very telling, and it's going to get worse. Trust me, it's going to get worse, because, and there's a reason he doesn't want to answer that question. And I'll leave that for you guys to figure out what that reason is, which is quite apparent.
Yes, he doesn't want to answer that question, and that is very telling, right? I have a question for you. Do you still beat your wife? Actually, no. Let's try something better. Should non-believers be put to death? Well, before you answer that,
الذين آمنوا يقاتلون في سبيل الله والذين كفروا يقاتلون في سبيل الطاغوت فقاتلوا أولياء الشيطان إن كيد الشيطان كان ضعيفا.
For those not versed in the beautiful Arabic language, that's a passage from Quran Surah Al-Nisa 476. Translates to, those who believe fight in the cause of Allah, and those who disbelieve fight in the cause of Shaitan. So fight against the allies of Shaitan. Indeed, the plot of Shaitan has ever been weak. Imran, I don't believe in Allah. Neither do I believe in any other deity. Because there is no God, there is no reason to believe in his opposition, Shaitan. Yet you would say I fight in his cause. So would you like to answer it? It wouldn't apply in your case, but in other cases, there are some questions that doesn't require an answer.
It's enough for me to say that we live in a society where it's not considered fine. We live in a society where selfishness, where failure to pay your debts, failure to reciprocate favors is regarded askance. That is the society in which we live. I'm very glad. That's a value judgment. I'm very glad that I live in such a society.
But when you make a value judgment, don't you immediately step yourself outside of this evolutionary process and say there is the reason this is good?
So you see Dawkins dabbling with, at times he passes value judgments, at times he says, well, it's arbitrary, so he wants to have his cake and eat it too. On one end, he wants to say, yes, the world we live in and its views in regards to rape, etc., are correct, and it's correct in a true sense, objectively somehow. But again, on atheism and evolution, he can't account for that, and he's tossing between these two two contradictory outlooks, it's funny to see, but it's very telling as well as to how atheism lands you in a position where you can't account for those most fundamental human truths, guys, the most fundamental human truths.
Once again, the evolutionary phase Dawkins is talking about, well, in New York, there is an amazing museum. In fact, it's the best museum I've ever been to. York Castle Museum shows you how life was in Old Britain, with how the houses looked, how the shops operated, and even the old-time jail. And in that jail, you can visit the cells and listen to the stories of the inmate. The first time I was there, I was shocked. Not because all the lifers were heinous murderers. Hell no. Most of them were people unable to pay their debt. And we cast them in prison and threw away the bloody key. Do you know what happens to people like that nowadays? Well, they become presidents. With our understanding today, we wonder how child marriage was ever allowed. Why would we burn brides? Why would we stitch up female genitalia or stone adulterers? Well, some of these practices are still followed. Either way, that's a history we cannot refute. So those people in those golden old days, were they all evil or stupid, or was it socially norm back then? And Imran, just because you sway your hands back and forth while saying Dawkins cannot account for atheism and evolution, doesn't make it so. Good try though. I use the trick myself, highly effective. The part you're showing us in the interview, well, it is talking about evolution from a social perspective. You know that, right? It's not evolution from biological perspective. Social Darwinism is any of the various theories that applies biological concepts of natural selection and survival of the fittest to sociology and politics. That is akin to say, look, primates reciprocate just like us. When the main food gatherer is unwell, the other party looks after that entity, knowing that their survival depends on that sick primate's recovery. So they help each other to survive. That social evolution has nothing to do with saying there is no God. How in Darwin's name did you come up with something that ingenious? Honestly, I've never heard that before. I'll try to explain it one more time so it would get through your thick skull. I might be the most honorable person you know. I might be the kindest. I might be as righteous as Solomon, as strong as Hercules, or as evil as Mao Zedong or Stalin. And that has nothing to do with if I believe in a God or not. Is it really that hard to understand? While I'm at it, I respect Dawkins, but he is no God. See, that's the whole thing about being an atheist. So even Dawkins went around doing horrible deeds. That doesn't mean anything to how I feel about an imaginary figure. I'm guessing you are Muslim as you started with Assalamu alaikum. In existence of Yazid ibn Mu'ila ibn Abi Sufyan, commonly known as Yazid, does his existence make you change your faith? If not, then why do you think trying to find something evil in Dawkins saying should change mine?
Okay, but ultimately, your belief that rape is wrong is as arbitrary as the fact that we've evolved 5 fingers rather than 6. I mean,
you could say that, yeah.
You can say that. So, I mean, it's case closed, right? I don't think I'm ever going to make another video on morality on atheism after this, right? I don't know how I didn't come across this clip before. I don't know why this clip isn't being made a bit more popular so atheists can see what one of the leaders is saying in regards to morality.
Simply because most people understand what it means. Unless, of course.
Now, when it comes to rape, it's as arbitrary as having 5 fingers or 6 fingers, and he acknowledges this. He says, you can say that, and he has nothing else to say after this, because after this, he moves on to another question. That's it. There's atheism for you guys. But one thing I want the atheists that may watch this to take away from this is, look, fine, you may not want to follow organized religion. You may not want to look into Islam. You may want to hold on to your presuppositions and your views in regards to Islam, which may be false, but you never know because you don't want to look into these things further. But at the very least, guys, reconsider the atheism you're holding on to.
Listen, man, there is no presupposition. Exactly the opposite. You see, we don't start with the presumption that God exists because in our feeble mind, we can't explain the natural things before us. Instead, some of us, we try to learn. We try to discover the unknown. Once, what we thought was God's anger. Now we know that an electrical discharge caused by imbalance between storm clouds and the ground or within the cloud themselves that causes lightning. We don't need sun god Ra anymore. Sun is just another star, a vital one, but still just a star. Though the story from Hindu mythology explaining how the cunning demon Rahu is the cause of eclipse is super fun to read, we now know what causes eclipse. Gone are the days of flat earth on 4 elephants. Scratch that. Some equally stupid people like you believes in flat earth. When a Christian in a discussion asked Stephen F. Roberts why he ignored the evidence for the Christian God, he asked in turn why the Christian chose to ignore the evidence for Shiva, Zeus, or any of the other possible gods. He used this quote to point out that believers in any given god are in fact atheists toward all other possible gods. I contend we're both atheists. I just believe in one fewer god than you do. When you understand why you dismiss all the other possible gods, you will understand why I dismiss yours. When you understand that one simple logic, you'd understand how morally we would both behave as any other human being, regardless of what we choose to believe in. Especially if I know Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Nir-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Yaka na'budu, Yaka nasta'in, Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim, Siratal Lathina, An'amta Alaihim, Gaidil Magdubi, Alaihim Wala Dwalin. Amen. Quick note for those who thinks my Arabic is good. It's the same way non-English speakers think my English is good. Me? I speak Lisp. That's a programming language, a super nerd joke. For the remaining video, Imran would drone on and on. Isn't it annoying when someone with the wrong premises keeps going on, blithering idiot? This video is not a personal attack on Imran, though it should be. Thank you for watching. Anyway, if you have liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe subscribe. If nothing else, Imran is beating me hands down with subscribers count over 10k. Hey, wait, does that mean he is right? Damn!